Yeah.
Let's rip ass. Let's rip ass.
Let's go. All right. Dumb kids, performance enhancing drugs, and tights on this episode of WatchBots.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to WatchBots, the podcast about old cartoons and making up fantastical creatures to fuel your steroid habit. This is Ben, here to rip ass. I'm joined by Shaylin,
Hello.
also here to rip ass. And Dave,
I love you too, Ben.
also here to rip ass.
Yeah, let's rip it.
Now, I don't want to backtrack immediately, but I have to say I enjoyed your Mel Brooks impression on tonight's intro.
May the Schwartz be with you.
All right. I'm armed with a coffee and a spin drift, and I'm ready to go. So let's dig in.
Let's dig in. Let's do this.
So how about that Detective Pikachu? Big hit.
Haven't seen it. Looks good.
A stirring conversation as always.
I think if you want to compare it to the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer,
absolutely,
that came out,
yeah.
I think it's a lot cuter, a lot better done, or better looking than Sonic looks.
Definitely gave me
it
fewer
looks fun.
nightmares.
Well, that's good.
Did you have real nightmares about Sonic?
Yep.
Did you guys?
Why does he have so many teeth?
Why are his eyes so small?
The fucking teeth.
Where are his little spikes? He's a hedgehog.
For a thorough discussion of Sonic the Hedgehog, refer back to our back catalog last week where we watched the California Raisins.
Which gave Dave nightmares.
It did.
We're all even.
Did you guys do Pokemon? Was that past your time? Were you too old for that?
I did not do Pokemon. I think I was just a couple years older than when it started coming out. I remember kids a couple years younger than me really getting into it with the Game Boy Colors and everything. I didn't have that, and I think I was I don't know how old I was when it came out, but I wasn't into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed the cartoon, the first cartoon, I think the one with Ash and Brock and Mindy.
Sure.
Mindy? That feels right.
Mm-hmm.
My sister was into the Game Boy game. I have an obsessive personality and know that about myself. And so the headline, "Gotta catch 'em all," I was like, oh, I will kill myself trying to do this. And I will be so sad if I can't literally catch them all. I should not invest time in this. So that was the right choice for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point. Yeah, I would do the same thing. I had bad enough grades thanks to video games. I didn't need that. Taking over my life.
I had good grades thanks to video games. I was, I think, a year or two too old to be in the prime audience, but my brother fit right into it. So I think I caught a bunch of Pokemon by osmosis. I remember going with him to see the Pokemon movie in the theaters.
Ooh.
And I might have shed a tear when Pikachu died.
Pikachu died?
Pikachu died?
Yeah, he came back. No, wait a minute. No, Pikachu didn't die. Fuck. I fucked up the story. Ash died. And then Pikachu cried, and his tears brought Ash back to life.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I swear to God, because Mewtwo kills Ash.
You basically just ripped my heart out of my chest and stomped on it. So if I cry before the end of the night, it's your fault.
Yeah, it was 50-50 to happen anyway, so.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope that this Pokemon movie is good, and it kicks off a whole Pokemon cinematic universe, so I can have 6 weeks of WatchBots Prime material. I like easy content.
In 10 years.
Mea culpa of the week. I ain't got shit.
I have one.
No?
Oh.
I just want to apologize to the two of you and our listeners for selecting the episode that we watched last week.
Do you have a guilty conscience about this?
Yes.
It's at least the 7th separate time you've apologized for this.
Well, here we are. Mea culpa, friends.
Mm-hmm.
You sent me a package of sun-made raisins, Shaylin, and it was a form of apology, but you just terrified me even more. So
that wasn't me, Dave. Don't eat those raisins.
Oh God, I ate them all.
They all just had toothpicks in them. It's like a voodoo doll scenario. But I say you got to stand behind your choices.
Yeah,
I stand behind my good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well,
just not the raisins one. That's all.
I stand behind my Conan the Adventurer and Fantastic Max, and that crazy Ninja Turtles episode I picked, and all the other garbage cartoons that I've picked. But I stand by it. I'm glad.
That's amazing.
I stand by every choice I've made related to the show. Can't remember what any of them were, but I certainly stand by them.
Your worst was probably Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Oh,
come on! That was a great
What are you talking about? That's preposterous.
Well, what do you think your worst was? What's the worst choice you made?
Aside
from choosing Shaylin over me.
I think I've said this before.
I would.
Like once these go in the can, as it were, and they're released to the world, I lose all memory of them. I couldn't tell you. Like if you were offering me $500 to go from episode 1 to now, which is episode 25, I couldn't tell you what we covered in those. Like not even close. I could probably hit 12.
Ben. Plowing forward.
That's right.
Eyes ahead.
Because it's about content creation, not content retention.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I learned that from Tony Robbins. Does he do this shit now? He must. He must have a podcast.
He must. If not, there are people who've paid him a lot of money that use his methods in a podcast.
He also, he actually has a podcast where he watches old cartoons and reviews them.
Damn it.
It's called...
he stole our niche.
It's called the Retro Tone Zone.
Tony's Tunes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cartoons.
Mm-hmm. Well, we want to hear from you listeners for a Tony Robbins show name. # Shallow Hal. So, on to this week, and we are moving into the Disney world. So we got to be careful here because we will be hitting copyright territory left and right. But we are talking about Adventures of the Gummi Bears. Now, this is, Dave, one of your choices. So, what's the deal?
I loved this show when I was a kid. Came out when I was 1 year old, and I didn't realize that, but it must have ran in syndication for a while. I watched this whenever it was on, just like glued to the television. I think it's because, I was into or still am, I guess, like into the like swords and fantasy and sci-fi and all that. I liked the possible King Arthur connection here. I was looking this up. There's a character named Gawain, and it might actually be the Gawain from the King Arthur tale.
Spoiler alert. No, that's not possibly true. They can't
true.
make that connection. No.
Yeah.
No.
He's right.
You can't make that decision now. That's like me saying, oh, well, my cat is actually Battle Cat from He-Man, and therefore WatchBots now connects. Like, you can't just do that.
No, but the character fits the characterization of Gawain. Like they basically stole a character. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't make that connection myself. That's from Wikipedia.
It's from the writer's room of Gummi Bears. They obviously took that.
The writer's room.
Yes.
We're
How do you
live
think
here at the
cartoons
Gummi
are
Bears
made?
writer's room.
In
some Imagineer came up with that.
Hardworking sweatshops in various parts of Asia. I don't know.
No?
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
All right, Walt Disney.
I don't want to stop fighting you two. This is Gummi Bears, all right? This is a fun, family-friendly show.
No.
Anyway, yeah, really liked this. The gummy bounce noise is ingrained in me. As soon as I watched this episode, like, the noise came, noise just. Now it's in my head, and everything I do, like I just imagine it with that bouncing sound effect. But I just was really really pleased to get back into the show and see how fun it was and how oddly violent it was too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's no real reason. Just really like this when I was a kid.
I don't want to put the cart too far before the horse, as it were, but it could be connected to King Arthur. I would argue that this has a strong connection to Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, okay.
Because I think at one point, what's the shitty kid's name? Cavan?
Cavan.
Everybody has fucking dumb names.
I thought it was Kevin.
I think he calls them like dirty old bears, and then they bounce around. So you could make that connection.
Oh, all right. Dirty old bear, you.
Yeah.
Wrong continent, but okay.
Grumpy Gummy is kind of like rabbit.
Zummy Gummy is Tigger in disguise.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, Zummy Gummy would be owl.
Zummy Gummy has the voice of Tigger.
But personality-wise.
Oh, okay. Well,
Which one is Zummy?
The fat wizard.
The wizard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The fat wizard.
Well, he is fat. Now,
obese Gandalf.
Gummi Bears is one of those shows that I didn't remember anything of until watching an episode, and then I remembered everything about it. So the sound effects, the costumes, the music, the look of it. Now,
the little hats.
Yes, the darling little hats.
Mm-hmm. Animals doing people things are my favorite. I love when they wear little hats.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think of this, Shaylin?
I loved Gummi Bears as a kid. I sing the theme song whenever I eat the candy, and watching this episode made me feel very happy.
Hey, I stopped you from crying. There you go.
Well, we want to know your favorite animals as people actions. # Politicat, because there would be cats doing politics. So it plays. Now, one of the credited creators of this show is actually Disney CEO during this time, Michael Eisner. And the story is that he was struck with inspiration when his son asked for gummy bears. And what I have to say to that is, it must be cool to be the CEO of a high-powered company where just like random shit, you can go to the office. I'm sure he was like, hey, my kid asked for gummy bears. Therefore, the cartoon Gummi Bears, and like just surrounded by an army of yes people saying, "Oh, Michael, just nailed it."
Oh yes, sir. Yes, that's beautiful. Beautiful idea, sir. What if his kid was eating something else? We would have gotten an entirely different cartoon. He was like, make a cartoon about Ritz peanut butter sandwiches.
Circus
like
Peanuts,
that.
the cartoon, and go.
It's not that different than California Raisins, but
It's true. Another food themed show.
it's true.
Mm-hmm. But twisted in a way that is pleasant instead of scary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And one of the other creators and the showrunners has the best name I've ever read. I couldn't tell you how to pronounce it. I'm going to spell it. And you tell me how you would pronounce it. First name Jymn, last name Magon.
Jammin' Megan.
I was saying Jim and Magon. I don't know. But
Jam and Megan, I like that.
But
He likes to party.
old
Oh yeah.
Or she?
old Jaimin. I think it's a male.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Maybe it's Himen.
Himen
Sure.
Magon.
Himen.
Jasmine could be anyway. So
I learned today that we're culturally insensitive when we can't read words.
Well, what's culturally insensitive about that? It's just a bunch of consonants put together.
And you proved my point.
Mhm. But anyway, old Jimin was the showrunner or co-creator for a lot of the Disney cartoons. So this was really the prototype of it. Now, when watching this or getting into it, you kind of have to think about Care Bears a little bit, you know? And I had a thought as I was doing my vociferous research. What came first, the Care Bears or the Gummi Bears? And I have the answer.
Can I venture a guess?
Yes,
Was it the Care Bears?
sort of.
Go ahead. I was going to venture a guess too, but
Venture a guess.
I was going to say Gummy Bears was first.
Well, that's not right, but
Fuck.
No, I haven't looked this up. I haven't researched it, but I would like to ask if the crowd, as it were. My understanding or my long-held belief, and it could be a lie, is that the Care Bears were first a toy and then turned into a cartoon. So maybe the Care Bears cartoon came after the Gummi Bears cartoon, but the toys came first?
Well, let me tell you a little something here, and I'm certainly not looking up the answer. Yes, you're correct that they were toys first. But here's the interesting thing.
Okay.
So the Care Bears cartoon was not the original thing, right? Or their original like visual media. The Care Bears movie came out first. So that was in March of 1985. Now, the Care Bears cartoon, the first episode aired on the exact same day as the first episode of Gummi Bears.
Whoa.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
What Ursine cartoons going on in 1985?
So they knew. Both companies, competing companies, knew. Are Care Bears Disney too?
No.
They're Hallmark?
Oh, okay.
Or weren't they a card company?
Yes, American Greetings.
American Greetings.
Yeah.
That's it.
Now, do you know who my favorite bear-themed celebrity chef is?
Who?
Robert Ursine.
I have a Care Bear from 1983 in its original packaging in our house that I inherited from my great aunt.
Have you looked up how much that's worth?
Nope.
Now, that's a story you can't tell on whatever Care Bears episode we do. No, you can repeat. It's okay.
I have other Care Bear stories. I was big into Care Bears.
Mm-hmm. But Gummi Bears was really the first sort of serialized Disney cartoon. Like, obviously, there was the Mickey Mouses and stuff, but this was the first kind of episodic one. And it really kicked things off. So it aired alongside the Wuzzles, which was also somehow co-created by Michael Eisner.
I love the Wuzzles.
Wuzzles were weird. We'll talk about the Wuzzles another time.
Wuzzles was his young son trying to say a word, and then he came back into his office and he was like, "My son said the cutest word. Make a show out of it."
Fuzzle Wuzzle was a bear. Fuzzle Wuzzle had no hair. It all comes back to bears. Now, the Wuzzles only aired for one season, but Gummi Bears was on for 6 years, right?
All right.
And it started on NBC, it went to ABC, and then it ended up being the lead-in for the first like Disney afternoon block. So it went Gummi Bears, DuckTales, Chip and Dale, and Tailspin. So real heavy hitters.
Wow. That was a good afternoon.
Now I'm pleased to announce that this is the first episode of our Disney themed month. No, we don't think far enough ahead. You know, because we could have done this, and then we could have done DuckTales.
We can still do DuckTales.
And Chip and Dale. I guess we could.
We still have time.
Yeah, this can be the first of the four.
But it's not in a month. Do you know what I mean? Like, it could be like...
This is the very beginning of May. Oh, I'm a week behind. You're right.
Yeah. This is going to post in like the middle of May.
Whatever.
It makes it hard. But anyway, listeners, get into our June themed month, Juniper, where we'll talk about gin-themed cartoons, I guess.
All right, I'm in.
Gym-induced cartoons.
Yeah. I went into that and didn't have an exit, but we got there.
Yeah, I'll get you out.
So the interesting thing about Gummi Bears 2, it was big enough that they rethemed a Disneyland attraction to be about the Gummi Bears.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Now, it closed 2 years later, but still. That's a big accomplishment.
What was the ride? Like before they turned it into a Gummi Bear ride?
I think it was like an outdoor boat ride. So by retheming it, like they put Gummi Bear stuff on the edges of the water. So I don't think it was some big elaborate thing, but still.
Yeah. Did they turn the boat into like that roller coaster they have in their massive treehouse?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
The under tunnels.
Mm-hmm.
Disney, if you're short on Imagineers, I'm here. I'm full of ideas.
I had, in addition to many Care Bears, I actually had a Cubby Bear stuffed animal that was the envy of my block. None of my friends had that Cubby Bear, but I did.
Of your block. People just fawning. Oh my, it's Shaylin. She's got a Cubby Bear.
She's got the Cubby.
Make way.
I don't even know if that's necessarily true, but I had one and I was very pleased that I had one.
Sure.
You felt like you were the belle of the ball.
That's true. Yeah. I did.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so after 6 years, the show ran out of gummy berry juice.
Ha.
Work them in there. And
you
was
can't
retired.
run out of a juice that you manufacture.
But it's a finite resource.
Not permanently. It has a recipe.
Should we bounce along? Let's
bounce along.
No. So the episode we watched is, I guess, the pilot. It's the aptly titled In the Beginning from
A New Beginning.
Oh, that's right. So it is A New Beginning. You're right, Dave. But I will say, if you look on YouTube, somebody made a Gummi Bears fan video called In the Beginning, and it's just clips of the Gummi Bears set to a Richard Marx song. I'm not kidding.
Okay. I was giving Ben a look to demand real answers.
No, I'm being 100% serious. So I did put In the Beginning down, but because I was thinking of that fan video. We'll put it in the show notes. It is, I guess it's not that interesting, like the video itself. Pretty fucking shoddy, if you ask me. I'll call that creator out, but it's interesting
Some
that
poor
it
editing
exists. It's not even poor editing. It's just old. Like the video's been up for 10 years. So it's one of those, like, it got put up in kind of the Wild West days of YouTube. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Things were different then. Things were better then. Do you know when else things were better? September 14th, 1985.
Oh, really, Ben? Why? Tell us a little about that date.
I will. In this episode of Contextual Feeling. Or segment. It's a segment. No song. Top movies. Number 1, Back to the Future. Right?
Excellent.
Nice.
It's a big Michael J. Fox vehicle. One of my favorite movies, I would say. Back to the Future.
So I always really like Back to the Future when we watch it until I start thinking. And then I get really angry about it.
Why?
Because of the amount of like historical whitewashing it does.
Jesus.
And it gets me worked up every time.
What's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me.
I thought you were going to say like, oh, it's the time travel messes with me. Or, you know, like, oh, you know, you start thinking about it, you get a headache, and then you go on to the next movie.
No, that's the second one that gives me the headache with the time travel stuff. The first one, the time travel stuff, I'm okay with. It's pretty direct.
Okay. So what is this historical whitewashing? I feel like we should get into this a little bit.
So Chuck Berry's cousin is he's the guitarist at the prom, right?
Sure.
And he gets Chuck Berry's signature sound from Marty. It's not cool. So essentially all of rhythm and blues and like the entire, like all of the music that Chuck Berry created, they attribute to a white teenager from the 80s.
Well, listeners, if you want to join Shaylin on her crusade against one of America's beloved comedies, hit us up on Twitter at WatchBotsPod, hashtag boycott to the future.
It was a good hashtag, but I'm still right. Anyway.
Number 2, another Michael J. Fox vehicle, Teen Wolf.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Did you ever like read that I guess it's a meme sort of about the guy, like he took his dick out or his balls out and you can see it in Teen Wolf?
I've heard that urban legend.
It's not urban legend. It's true.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, like 100 times.
I don't think I've seen Teen Wolf since I was like 5. Was there a cartoon of Teen Wolf? Am I making that up?
Maybe. There was an MTV show like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not thinking of that.
I think that there was a Teen Wolf cartoon, though.
Like on Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah, it was called Teen Wolf 2. I'm just kidding. No,
good one, Ben.
Teen Wolf Tune?
This is a struggle tonight.
Toon Wolf?
Toon Wolf, I like.
Toon Wolf. Yeah.
And listeners, if you want to join Shaylin on her crusade against another of 1985's beloved comedies, hashtag boycott Teen Wolf.
We're 25 minutes in, and I think you've done about 25 hashtag requests.
That's right. So, because we want engagement, we want to talk to the world.
Yeah. Come at us, people. Come at us.
Number 3 was Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Really?
Oh my God!
It was a great week for movies.
Yeah, and it sort of spotlights that today there's not a lot of big successful comedies. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of blockbuster movies, but like what's the last big comedy movie? You know what I mean?
Does Deadpool count?
No, that's licensed.
The Hangover?
Yeah, that was like a decade ago.
Bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
Bridesmaids.
Bridesmaids,
Yeah.
But that was still that was 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Not recent.
The King's Speech. Anyway, just interesting.
Well, I think like there's not like is Back to the Future PG or PG-13?
PG. I can't remember if PG-13 was around at this point.
Oh,
yeah, PG-13
right.
was a new rating that got added.
Was that because of Red Dawn?
No, I think PG-13 was because of the Temple of Doom.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. I always think it's Red Dawn, though. Red Dawn rules. The new one.
Yes, it does.
Not the old one.
The new one is terrible. The you don't see a lot of like successful like blockbuster comedies. You also don't see a lot of successful PG movies now.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're like a Pixar movie. But yeah, like live action PG movies, you don't see those in general, I guess. But like, they're not very big successes nowadays.
The ones that exist all have talking dogs in them.
Yes.
And that means they're terrible, just by definition. There's no such thing as a movie with a talking dog that doesn't make me cry, which means they're evil and terrible.
What about Beethoven?
Beethoven didn't talk.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
With his slobber. Like his lips flat back and
There
forth.
was no narrator that voiced over. There was no dubbing.
It's kind of like that.
Watch out for David Duchovny.
I hate you both in this moment. Anyway.
So, a couple of top toys real quick. So, number one was the pogo ball. That was a big thing in 1985. Did you all do the pogo ball?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No.
My brother had one.
No, it was the...
It looked like Saturn.
Yeah.
It had like a ball in the middle and a plastic ring around it, and you stood on it and you popped on it.
Yeah. And you could like, they could use it as a sex toy too. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Those were not for me. Toys that require like balance, generally not ones I'm going to be too successful with.
I wasn't good at the pogo ball,
Mm-hmm.
but my brother had one and he let us use it sometimes.
Were you using it in 1985?
There actually is a chance that I was balanced on it, but I feel like it was probably like closer to 89 that we had it.
But what's 4 years?
You were 1 year old when that toy came out.
Do you really put it past my family to have held me on top of a pogo ball and like seen if I could handle it?
Tell me more.
Listeners, would you hold it beyond? Would you hold Jalen's family responsible for that? Speaking of timelines and messing up dates, I'm going to kind of pull this back to a mea culpa. Shailen, another mea culpa for you. You were talking last week about the California Raisins. Trying to mimic UHF, the movie.
Yeah.
Meet the Raisins came out in 1988. UHF came out in 1989. You big dummy.
Did I say it was trying to, or did I say it was like that?
I think you were saying it was trying to.
Well, I don't know what I said, but I know the essence of what I was trying to get across was that they had similarities.
Right.
So
okay.
I do not accept your mea culpa. I do not apologize.
No, you can't reject a mea culpa. You just have
rejected.
To. No, you just have to accept it.
I rejected it.
Accept it and let's bounce on.
Mm-hmm.
Rejected.
Let's just keep using bounce on indefinitely. I'm going to talk about Pillow Pals too, not because they're noteworthy, but because I wanted to make a joke about them being the precursor to waifu pillows. I
don't know what waifu pillows are.
Oh man! So you know what the Pillow Pals are, right?
Like the weird kids.
They're like the
squares,
the pillows that look like
they have arms and legs.
They're creepy.
So waifu pillows are like body pillows that are in the shape of women. Sometimes anime characters. Sometimes they have pictures of like real women on them.
I hate this planet. I just don't want to live here anymore. Ugh.
Waifu pillows and Michael J. Fox making R&B. Says you're having a rough night.
Waifu pillows or real dolls. You make the choice. Anyway,
I'm sticking with my pillow.
What are you talking about?
For everybody. So Gummi Bears, it starts off really weird. It starts off with a sneak preview for the show you're literally about to watch. Mm-hmm. This was crazy. What was the point of this?
Was it, so did it air that way? Or did it?
Yeah, hold on. I can show you what Tummy Gummy says.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Tummy Gummy. You watch these exciting scenes from today's show while I go get a snack.
Like you're already watching it.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hello, Garfield. What are you doing here?
I'm just about to get some lasagna.
Well, I go catch a ghost.
Oh, hey there, Egon.
Have you ever heard a Garfield voice that's not Lorenzo music?
No.
Oh, it's bad.
Well, I should say this. If I have, I automatically dismissed it as fake and didn't pay attention to it.
What are you like? I heard Bill Murray do a Garfield voice.
Yeah, it's not as good. The voice is Lorenzo music, but anyway.
It's not good. Have you heard others?
Yeah, if you check out Giant Bomb's Garfield video game reviews. There's a whole guy that's not Lorenzo music. This is good.
Weird.
Voice acting. It's a tough art.
Yeah.
But anyway, so the song rules.
Yep.
The song, everybody knows the song. We're going to play it in its full length entirety. That's the American Gladiator song.
There's a horn at the beginning of this one.
Does it sound like American Gladiators?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Dashing and daring, courageous and caring, faithful and friendly, with stories to share. All through the forest they sing out in chorus, marching along as their song fills the air. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the Gummi Bears. Magic and mystery are part of their history, along with the secret of gummy berry juice. The legend is growing, they take pride in knowing the fight for what's right in whatever they do. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the Gummi Bears. They are the Gummi Bears.
It's a good song.
They're the Gummi Bears.
It was written by a husband and wife team, Patty and Michael Silvershire. But a sad coda to this, they're divorced.
Aw.
Bummer.
They still work together, though.
Oh, good friends.
So sometimes love does not conquer all.
Some creative differences over the Gummi Bears theme song drove a wedge between them.
Yeah.
The reason that this theme song was so great, I'm going to venture to guess. Disney, always coming up with the great tunes.
Because it cribbed from American Gladiators.
Sure.
Another reason is probably genetics. The singer of this, Joseph Williams, son of John Williams, the famous composer.
Really?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Was he in a band too?
He was in Toto for
Okay.
a couple of years. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was reading up on this a lot about John Williams' son. So he sang this in 1985. He was in Toto, I think 84 to 86. So he had a really, really great 2 years, and he did nothing before that, and he's done nothing since. Nothing of note since. But just the 84.
Nothing you've been talking about.
Yeah. 84 to 86, just baller year for Joseph Williams.
Do you think he was on speed or something? Like some kind of, or like some other like enhancement drug or like
Allegedly?
gummy berry juice?
Oh,
Because he had such a good year.
Yeah, like he had a couple of really great years because he was like super hyped up. He made a bunch of money and was like, oh man, I'm tired. I'm going to be done now.
For like the last 6 months, I've been on whatever the opposite of speed is.
Okay.
Having a down year.
Pot?
Benzo?
No.
It's benzos.
I don't know what that is.
Downers?
It's opioids.
This is their hip drug talk.
Yeah. It's getting dark. Is this your favorite theme song that we've heard this show?
Ever?
Yes, ever. No, like this your favorite theme song that we've covered so far?
No.
No? Shanley?
G.I. Joe, Rambo,
Okay.
the Yogi Bear Christmas special.
I guess my question would be favorite how? Because Denver sticks in my head more.
Yeah. But this one is
But this one is more pleasant.
We've heard garbage songs and like the lyrics don't make sense and the music's terrible, but like this one, like the music's awesome and the lyrics very, very tight. They get the point across. They get you jazzed for the show. It's a very successful theme song in my opinion.
Yes. I agree with that.
And also it has my favorite shoehorned line of gummy berry juice. It just doesn't fit at all. But I love it.
Their magic is growing.
Yeah.
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 Because they're learning more magic as they move along.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
Everybody's learning.
We're all laughing.
It's factual.
So the show opens with the villain, which is sort of an interesting thing. Now, the villain is Duke Sigmund Igthorn. And I will say, as per usual, I hate the fucking names. They're irritating to type in notes. They're irritating to say over and over. He's Snively Whiplash. That's who I'm calling him. He's Snively Whiplash. I was immediately confused because the show opens with a catapult destroying a castle, but it's just a scale model of him destroying the castle. But like he's built this 700-foot tall catapult, which is just wild. I don't know what the point of the scale model was.
The scale model is impressive. Like if this is like fantasy medieval times, like impressive scale model for like the tools and materials that he had.
That's true. We'll get to the construction and how he pulled this off in a little bit. But another interesting thing is he's surrounded by an army of ogres. And Shaylin, how did you feel about Duke Igthorn?
I don't know. I knew he was a bad guy and I hated him for it.
Maybe because he was anti-labor?
Get moving! Time is money, or it would be if I were paying you.
He is not just he's not just anti-labor, he's a slave owner. Yeah. Bad dude. I felt negatively about him.
Those ogres should have signed a charter.
They should have held a vote with the NLRB.
Yeah, the National
Labor Relations Board.
I was trying to make an ogre thing in there. Oh well.
NLRG.
So now we move on to our yeah, I like Loger. We move on to our hero, the young boy Kevin. He's wearing a necklace. Let's meet him.
You'll thank those yokel woodcutters.
What a hero. Talking about yokel woodcutters. You will grow to hate Kevin, much like I did.
Yeah.
Kevin sucks.
Kevin's like Wart from The Sword and the Stone, just not great or compelling or endearing.
Yeah.
And his name sucks too.
He's very charming.
Kevin.
His name is terrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he just sounds like someone saying Kevin with an accent.
Yeah, come on,
Kevin. Now, Dave, you mentioned Sword in the Stone, and I think when you think of visual style for this show, it's what it is. Like it's part Robin Hood, part Sword in the Stone. So just to paint a little picture for the listeners, Kevin is with another page named Unwin, who does some really funny things. So he's riding a horse, like laying down, which seems pretty uncomfortable. Like he's like sideways.
He's
in
real
the saddle.
relaxed, like.
And then he throws a piece of bread at Kevin's donkey and scares it away.
I like that you find this funny. What a jerk.
No, he's cool. Unwin's a cool guy.
False.
Hashtag
Jerk.
Unwinner. Yeah. So Kevin falls off of his horse and Unwin steals his necklace, which we find out is a gummy bear medallion.
There aren't any gummy bears now, but they used to exist. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that. Everyone knows they're just fairy tales.
So that's kind of the gummy bears in a nutshell. They're creatures. Nobody knows if they're real. But Kevin has the gummy bear medallion.
What I loved about the medallion is that it's not like a traditional, like, metal, fancy-looking medallion. It appears to be carved out of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they live in the woods.
Yeah.
The gummy bears weren't,
I just thought it was funny they kept calling it a medallion, and it's like a hand, like a wooden carved thing.
I thought you were going for like a the Last Crusade type of thing, where like, oh, it's just a wooden necklace. It's nothing fancy. It was a wooden chalice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
the humble bears of the woods.
They chose poorly.
poorly.
An interesting thing that I find about many medieval cartoons, Unwin and Kevin are wearing like flowing tunics as well as tights. Is it accepted historically that all these people wore tights?
Like in the 80s?
No, like in medieval times. And not the restaurant.
Oh, you
like,
got
did
me.
they wear tights?
I think they wore like leggings made of leather.
Nice.
Or something. Like they wouldn't have had spandex.
I dig it.
They didn't have polyester.
Like a BDSM scene. Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like it.
No.
When I was a kid, we had in my class, we were doing like a unit on medieval times. And
the restaurant?
Yeah, actually. it all works. So I had to go to school and I had to wear, I was dressed up as a king and I wore tights. I didn't want to wear the tights, but I had to wear the tights.
Your mom was really into authenticity in clothing, huh?
I guess, yeah.
Huh.
I was 32.
I remember when my
You were a teacher.
brother's My brother did.
Emphasis on was. Sorry, that's not appropriate. That's horrible. What was your brother doing?
Those tights were too tight.
He wore tights for a school play, and my mom explicitly picked out a pair of like tights that were ripped so that he would have more like jungular region.
Okay. Was it a play about like the New York punk scene in the 70s?
It was the Crucible.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why did they have to wear tights in the Crucible?
I don't. Oh, because he didn't have to wear tights. He had to wear. He might not have even worn the tights. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe my mom offered him tights because she had a set that was ripped and wouldn't be uncomfortable. But he had short pants. Yeah, like short pants, and he had to wear like stocking kind of things underneath.
Okay.
Because you were and he didn't have knee socks.
Sure. Who has knee socks?
It would be weird. It would have been weird if like my brother in like the early 90s at 17 had a lot of woolen knee socks.
I feel like I had knee socks at one point.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
The fuck does that mean?
Because your mom was very into authentic clothing. I bet you had lederhosen too.
No.
No?
Why would I have had lederhosen? For what purpose?
It just seems like a thing.
Oktoberfest, man.
Yeah, totally. What is it?
Or like The Sound of Music or some. I feel like there's some reason.
It's like a really bizarre leap to make.
You would have.
It didn't feel like a
lederhosen.
long one. It just seems like one of those things you come up with and be like, oh yeah, one time I wore lederhosen. I don't know why. It was a thing. It doesn't seem that outlandish.
I had to dress up as Thomas Jefferson once in 5th grade, and my mom made me wear these really short pants with my sister's like knee socks, and the pants were incredibly tight, and just she wanted to make them look like old timey pants, so she made like the thighs like puffy, you know?
Yeah.
And so she like shoved like shirts into the already tight pants, like around my thighs. And then just to make me just a little more uncomfortable, a wig made out of cotton balls glued together. So, and it was like May or June. It was hot as fuck. And I'm just like dying in these t-shirt stuffed tights and this cotton ball wig. But it's still not as bad as your lederhosen, Ben.
That's true. That's why they called me Lederhose Ben for 25 years. With that costume, Dave, you also could have been like a really jacked Zeus, like Zeus doing squats for 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Costumes. Can't beat them.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. So Gummi Bears. So the kids are in the woods. They go to deliver some food to woodcutters. They get attacked by ogres. Kevin smacks an ogre with a ham.
Yeah, which is actually really funny.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
Come on, Kevin.
Kevin.
But the ogres are there on behalf of Snively Whiplash, who comments that the woodcutters were getting too close to their secret catapult. Now, again, this catapult is easily 50 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
So storing it in
over
the woods,
trees.
yeah, it's a bad plan. He's a poor villain. But the ogres are chasing Kevin, who has been abandoned by the knight Sir Tuxford. Tuxton,
I think.
whatever. It doesn't fucking matter. But by the fat knight,
Tucked in.
and they're chasing him. But then they get stopped by unseen hands, or should I say, unseen paws.
Ha ha ha.
So the Gummi Bears set like ogre, or the Gummi Bears set Ewok traps for
Yeah.
the ogres, and they get snagged and shit. Now we cut to a castle, and we see a fair maiden. Her name's Kana, I think. Kana? We're gonna go with Kana. And do you ever play Assassin's Creed, Dave?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first one?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So Kana pulls a leap of faith, and she jumps off of a parapet down like 150 feet into a haystack.
Yeah.
Because she's adventurous and carefree.
Yeah.
And she's on assignment to assassinate one of the cardinals. Yes.
She's going to get one of the Templars.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing about it is it's a big leap, but she has a really good time. Everybody gets their thrills in different ways.
Hey.
You know?
Hey, you've never been a preteen girl jumping into hay?
That's
I
true.
haven't either, but
Yeah.
I've never jumped in a haystack.
I remember one time, I think it was Carmen Electra was on Howard Stern, and she talked about being like a teenager and having an orgasm riding a bus. This is probably the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
She was on like a school bus. I don't know.
Well, all right.
Was the school bus full of straw or hay?
Yeah.
All right.
So that'll do
Makes
it.
more sense that
That'll
way.
do it.
Yeah.
There's the connection.
Did it smell like horse manure?
The orgasm?
Sure.
Yeah.
I meant the bus, but okay.
Yeah.
Gross.
Oh boy. Anyway, so she runs into her father, King Gregor, and then Tuxford shows up, and you get some really like natural sounding dialogue. You get a lot of that in this show, but this is particularly noteworthy.
Is Kevin a friend of yours, Connor?
Oh, he seems nice enough for a page.
Is Kevin a friend?
So, the king,
Mhm.
the animation of the king, I couldn't tell if he was wearing like a shirt that was skin, like flesh color that matched his face, or if he just had like a very deep V-neck shirt.
Oh, deep V-neck, because when I saw the king, I thought of Richard Branson.
Okay.
So I think V-neck.
The Virgin
Dave?
CEO?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like wide open shirt.
Okay, gotcha. I thought his animation was weird. Not for that. I didn't notice that, so I'm just gonna go with deep
Okay.
V-neck because he's cool. But he has one of the broadest chests in
Yes.
Disney history. Like he's just like a
He rivals
barrel.
Gaston.
Yeah. Also reminded me of King Trident.
Yep.
This so this animation, like Ben, you talked about like it being kind of Robin Hood-ish and Sword in the Stone-ish. Like I feel like this animation was very like the aesthetic was really new for Disney. Like before it was kind of scratchy and like the characters were kind of like rubber hosey, but this is rounded and brighter and everything. And it's sort of like, for me, like sort of informed like the sort of the second golden age of Disney movies. Like Little Mermaid came out in 89 and there was Beauty and the Beast, etc. But like I feel like, I don't know, they were like testing it out or like it informed the rest of the movies or the later movies. What do you think? Am I just crazy?
I mean, whether or not it informed the other movies, I think that they definitely were like vibing with the same aesthetic.
Yeah.
Vibing with. I said
I
that.
like it.
I like that.
I like it.
Like they're fish or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm right.
Yeah. I mean, because this period was around like The Great Mouse Detective and movies like that, which feel a little grainier, a little more budget.
Yeah.
But that kind of clean look that you get out of this show, definitely it vibes. It jams with it.
Totally.
For sure.
So you could argue that Gummi Bears is like the Grateful Dead of Disney animation.
Well, no, it would have to be the fish because the Grateful Dead was first gen, right? And then the new generation would be fish.
So it's like the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
To put it in terms I understand.
Correct.
Yeah.
Jam band's not your thing, Ben?
Not generally.
You hate noodling. Why do you hate noodling so much?
He really does. It's really funny.
In college, this story makes me sound like an asshole, and I guess I was an asshole. I don't know why I did this.
You are.
There was this guy at school who did all the open mic nights and stuff, and he did like a lot of Dave Matthews covers and that kind of music. I don't know why. Like it just fucking bugged me. And he came up once and he gave me a flyer for like his band that was playing, and I said, "Oh, is this like jam band kind of music?" And he said, yeah. And I just said, completely deadpan, that shit fucking sucks. I don't know why I did it though.
Listen, we've all said things in our lives that maybe we regret or should regret.
Yeah, like if that dude had said anything cross after, and rightfully so, because I was a complete dick, like I would have just curled into a ball and started crying. So I don't know what sparked me to do that.
Did you crumple up the flyer
really
and like
hated that
throw
guy.
it against his forehead or something? Like, what a dick move, Ben.
Did you give it back to him?
No, I put it in a sandwich, I ate it, and I spit it right in his fucking eye.
Huh.
And you know what I did? I hung him from the roof.
It got dark. It got very dark.
I cut his
Yeah,
head.
that crossed some lines there.
Cut his head off.
Yeah,
I'm uncomfortable.
You're crossing all kinds of lines.
Just like the mountain on Game of Thrones this week.
Yeah.
Huh?
Jeez, gosh.
Yeah.
I can't believe they did a Game of Thrones Gummy Bears crossover this late into the run. Like that's bold. That's a bold move by HBO.
Mhm.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler
That
alert.
that Melisandre can really pull together any kind of magic.
Can we implore someone out there in the world to make some kind of Game of Thrones illustration using the gummy bears as the main characters?
I mean, you can do that.
I'm a bad artist.
Hashtag Gummy of Thrones. Fuck, that's fucking horrible. We're moving on. This is fucking horrible.
Bouncing along.
Christ. So we meet the fucking gummy bears now, and there's 100 of these things. There's Gruffy and Sunny and Grammy and Tummy and Zummy and Cubby, and they're like hovering over Kevin in a mildly creepy way. And they grab the medallion.
They're curious.
They grab the medallion around his neck, and they're just like lolling his head around. If you know anything about sort of emergency medical work, you know you're not supposed to do that. You got to stabilize the neck.
That's true. But these are bears,
Yeah,
so
that's true. They could have crippled this poor boy. Now, they're kind of debating amongst themselves whether they should be consorting with humans or not. I'm not going to play the clip because it's ridiculously long, but you have Gruffy who doesn't want to talk to them, and then you have the youngins who do want to work with humans. Gruffy ultimately proven right, but we'll get to that. But Kevin wakes up and he just screams, "You're gummy bears!" He fucking loses his shit. And then the gummy bears scatter, and the little one, that's Cubby Gummy.
Cubby, yep.
So he drinks a vial. We find out later this is gummy berry juice, and it makes him bounce around, but it doesn't seem to increase his speed at all.
no.
So what is the point of the gummy berry juice?
It makes it so you can bounce off of things and go far distances.
You're also super
he
strong,
doesn't-
too.
Yeah.
So the bears are strong as well?
Yes.
Okay.
When they drink the juice.
All right. That's not established here. Okay.
Otherwise, they're just regular bear strength,
The gummy
which is
berry
also much
juice.
stronger than a human.
But what does it do to make them bounce? Like, they're not like jumping, right? They're not like jumping super far.
Mhm.
They just bounce on their butts. So like, what does the gummy juice do to their butts?
It strengthens their ass tendons.
Hemorrhoids.
Just a super, super bouncy hemorrhoid.
You're welcome.
Just puffs out. Gives you a prolapsed anus on which you can bounce. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
I want you to know that I've been thinking about this for days, and that was I came up with. I was like, it has to be hemorrhoids. There's no other explanation.
This reminds me of my favorite bumper sticker. Unless you're a hemorrhoid, get off my ass.
Oh man, you know who?
Zing.
You know the person with that bumper sticker on their car. You know they're a badass.
I was going to say, if you have that bumper sticker, or you know someone who does, I want to know if they're a Trump supporter or not, because I've got a theory that the Venn diagram of people who own that bumper sticker and people who voted for Trump, it's a perfect circle.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's no diversion there.
You could probably throw in the like the testicle like trailer hitch too. You could throw that in there.
Well, that's not fair because I own that on my
But that was your that's not like fake. Those are your enemies. That's your enemy's scrotum.
Yeah.
That you removed
Yeah,
after
that
he invited you
fucking
to see his
jam
jam
band
band.
guy. That's right. Son of a bitch.
Fuck your jam band.
And that band went on to be Maroon 5.
A club
yeah.
band now.
Yes. Anyway, so the bears and Kevin end up getting chased by ogres. They all end up inside a tree. And Kevin wakes up in the gummy bear's home. And it's kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, where Grammy Bear threatens to beat him up with rolled up paper. And then Gruffy Bear ties him up, and then they eat him. There's no such thing as a joke that's too easy.
They don't eat him.
They maul him. They don't. They let Kevin try to explain where he got the medallion.
But it's seen off screen Grizzly Man style.
Oh man.
You just hear the screaming.
You got to put your feminine products inside the cooler.
Exactly.
You know?
So
Bury
you're
them in the dirt away from your camp.
Bury them.
you're you're
bear
just hearing the screams of Kevin and like the tearing of flesh and then the occasional like it's awful. Oh, it's horrifying.
So anyway,
Do you think they kill their foes by mauling them or like bouncing their asses off of them?
The latter.
I don't think that they kill their foe.
Is that why they're so fucking weak?
They just like tie them up and stuff.
Yeah.
They're not violent.
How do they tie them up without thumbs? Anyway, let's listen to Kevin.
Where did he get it?
He found it when he was a boy. In a ruined city, way up in the Western Mountains. Could I have something to drink?
No.
No.
No, you can't.
But now Gummy Bear feels bad for
Way up
Kevin.
in the Western Mountains.
Yeah. I think they end up going to the Western Mountains later in the series.
They do.
They do. Yeah. Kevin asks for something to drink, and Tummy brings him a vial of gummy berry juice. That's the juice that gives the gummies their powers. It has unexpected results on Kevin because he immediately breaks the ropes and he picks up a door that Gruffy's hanging onto. He starts fucking up the house immediately.
He doesn't mean to.
He does, though.
No, he's like Spider-Man when he first gets bitten by the spider. Like, he doesn't know his own strength, and he's like breaking things.
Yeah. I was going to say Baby Huey.
Mm-hmm.
That too. That works too. The singer or the cartoon character?
The cartoon character.
Okay. Just want to be clear.
Huey Lewis.
Huey Lewis.
So Kevin, with his newfound power, immediately decides to exploit the Bears or exploit the Bears. It proves why they went into seclusion.
Wow, this is great! I'll be the greatest, most famous knight that ever was!
Like, he within seconds, it's like in The Last Jedi, where Rey doesn't even hesitate to look at the dark side and Luke like loses his mind.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same thing. Like, this kid doesn't even hesitate to go, oh, I'm going to take this thing that you gave me and I'm just going to use it for personal gain.
No.
Yes.
So this is what happens. First of all, this is a kid, not an adult.
Kevin.
Rey's a kid.
And he's younger. And he doesn't realize it's not permanent. So he thinks that he's been given superpowers forever. He's not planning to just like tie the bears up and make them keep making him juice. They don't know that it's a short-term change until after Kevin loses the powers.
Right. But he's going to exploit what he was given for a drink. And he's going to use that for gain. That's what he's doing.
I think Ben's onto something because consider Kevin's upbringing. Like, Unwin has bullied him, presumably his whole life, or his life as a page, and Sir Tuckton is like just a doofus, and like you got nothing to learn from. You're just being bullied. So he's going to take that gummy juice, and he's going to bully those bears.
I don't think that's the plan. I think it's much more of like a Vita Ray's Captain America situation where he was like the underdog and people took advantage of him, and then all of a sudden he was super strong and he's like, I'm going to be a great knight because he views that as a position of like power for good.
Mm-hmm. Well, listeners, if you think that he's going to use it for good, hashtag Kevin America. And if you think that he's a selfish bastard, hashtag Darth Kevin. Now, Zummy introduces us to the Great Book of Gummy, which has been locked shut for a long time. And he brings Kevin to it and makes an interesting request.
Put your hand on it, please.
I don't know.
Ooh, that's odd. Are they alone?
Gross.
They actually are at that point, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a little...
And then Kevin immediately has to swear not to reveal the gummy secret. So this all feels a little...
Yeah.
pervy.
There's some questionable stuff in there.
Yeah. So Kevin has to whisper to the book, and Zummy says something else that's a little weird.
I give you my word.
The book confirms your word.
That's so weird. The book confirms your word.
He's a bear.
Yeah.
What do you want from him?
Is the book like a living thing?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think it is.
Okay.
This is maybe a good point to ask about this. What's the deal with the bears? Are these the last gummy bears?
They are.
Unless Cubby and Sunny knock boots.
Well, that was the other darker question I was getting to is like, what is the relationship?
This is a fanfic.
They're bears. I'm sure that this is like, this is like a fanfic thing that you're getting
Fanfic
into.
follows
Yeah.
here.
Maybe they asexually reproduce, which will be the best answer, I think.
Maybe the gummy berry juice keeps them alive.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, maybe.
That could be.
I was reading ahead a bit, the episode, so they do meet other gummies of the gummy bears, but
Okay.
they're still like the last remnants of their race. Like, it's implied that some awful malevolent humans came by and just like through genocide eliminated almost all of the gummies. There's a couple episodes that were in the plot, like it refers back to that. Nothing like explicit, obviously, but like there's like this implied sense that there's some sort of gummicide.
Gummicide.
I don't think they produced that episode. Though.
No, someone storyboarded it though.
I'll
Maybe.
find the episode description later,
true.
but I'm pretty sure like there's implied like history there.
That sounds familiar, so I'm going to go ahead and just believe you blindly.
Thank you. I appreciate that. It's a microcosm of our friendship.
So the bears live inside a tree and they get around by like log flume. So Kevin climbs into the flume with Cubby and Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
Cubby and Sunny put on seatbelts. Arrogant bastard Kevin does not. And then he proceeds to complain about how fast the flume is going.
That's correct.
So again, they should have just stayed in hiding. Now, they get outside and they see Snively Whiplash and his crew readying the catapult. And this is really only notable because Snively gives what I consider to be maybe the best threat ever recorded. Let's listen.
Any more mistakes and you're going to be fired from the catapult. Beautiful, delicious.
Maybe
yeah, it's pretty good.
Maybe he is.
Jalen,
Good.
can you do an impression of
like
that?
him.
From the catapult. Can you do that?
No. Absolutely
I think
not.
you can, because like I heard that when I saw that the first time. I'm like, I bet Shailen will do a really good impression of Duke Sigmund Igthorn, whatever the fuck his name is.
That's weird. That's weird.
I'm gonna fire you from the catapult into Kitty Mountain.
No, I'm not
You're
doing the
you're
impression.
Oh, boy. All right.
The catapult's made of rainbows.
If you had given me a heads up, I could have. Yes, to rainbows.
From the catapult.
So Kevin, being the shithead that he is, goes to the bears and demands that they help them save the castle and the king. That they have no stake in this. Zummy rightfully points out they're not warriors, they don't have weapons. But Kevin, you know what he does? He fucking insults them. Let's listen to 2 clips.
People are gonna get hurt, and you're just gonna let it happen?
And
You're nothing but a bunch of silly, selfish old bears.
like, what is this kid's problem?
He doesn't understand that there are people and creatures around him who have motivations that don't match him.
Mhm.
He is the embodiment of the patriarchy in a cartoon.
He sucks.
I'm not going to disagree on that front when I compare him with the patriarchy.
I enjoy your thoughtful response, but he sucks.
Yeah, I really. Man, you're on the ball tonight, Shailen. Michael J. Fox taking R&B and now the patriarchy of the gummy bear world. It's really I appreciate it.
It's been a hard week.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So Kevin storms out. He's gonna fight a catapult on his own, and then the gummy medallion like makes Zummy fly over to the book. And wouldn't you know it, the gummy medallion is a perfect fit for the book. It pops open. And then we find out something a little disturbing about the great Gummy who wrote the book.
Strive to make gummies great once more.
He's Donald Trump.
Yeah, a Trump supporter for
That's
sure.
correct.
Or hold on. Strive to make... fuck it, I can't
Make
do that.
gummies great.
Stiga.
Smegma.
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 So
Schmegma.
the book reveals that it's the gummy bear's duty to be good and help and stuff like that.
Even though it will lead to their extinction.
Yeah. So they decide to go help Gavin Rosdale and the people out. And we get a good tummy line read, which I'm just playing it because it's a good line read.
Sure, you can count on me.
You can count on me.
No matter what you do, you can count on me. No matter where you go.
You can count on me.
I'm glad somebody got
No
it.
matter where you are, you can count on me.
Well, I know earlier we were talking about gin-infused cartoons, and Tummy Gummy just gave it to you right there.
Tummy Gummy, more like Rummy
You
Gummy.
count on me.
Ha 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 ha.
So this raises a question about Zummy too, which I'll bring up and then we can move on. Zummy is introduced as the keeper of the gummy bear lore, but all of that lore is locked inside the book that they couldn't get into. So what the fuck was his purpose?
Well, so he has memories of the other gummies, and so he can share like the stories.
Mhm.
that he remembers being told, and the book has the deeper meanings.
Okay. All right. It's like Aesop's fables.
Kind of. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or like Arthurian legends.
Or Aesop's fables.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They go out into a field. Zummy has discovered an invisibility spell, which he puts on Gruffy. It works mostly. So Gruffy is walking across the battlefield, and the camera pans past an ogre cleaning a skull.
Which is pretty funny. It's a little dark, but it's pretty funny.
I wanted to know more about why he was cleaning that skull. Where do you get the skull from? Whose skull was it?
It was obviously a human.
Yeah. Was it a predator scenario?
I think that it's just supposed to be demonstrative of the fact that the ogres should not be trusted and they're the bad guys.
You couldn't have told that already.
Some kids need more clarification than others.
Okay,
maybe
that's fair.
Maybe he was performing Hamlet.
Oh, maybe he's an artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right.
It's a stage. It's not a real skull. It's a stage prop.
His name was Yorick. So
he thought that they were, instead of a catapult, they were building a stage for him. He's tricked.
Poor ogre.
Sound and fury signify nothing. Like the show. So Gruffy goes out into the field with the gummy berry juice that he's going to give to Kevin, who can escape from his bonds. And the spell runs out, so now Gruffy is just out in the open. And Kevin once again proves why the gummy bear should have left well enough alone.
Gruffy! You came! You came to help me after all!
Like a fool, he alerts the ogres to Gruffy's presence, and then Gruffy has to jump around and fuck him up a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
He's a kid. He doesn't know any better.
Kevin.
But we do...
Kevin.
Kevin does take the gummy berry juice. He breaks free. He rolls up his sleeves like he's a badass. And then he throws two ogres into the stratosphere, which I legitimately enjoyed. And the ogres land at Snively Whiplash, right? So they land where he is with the catapult. Did you guys notice this? They're on their backs. Snively climbs up and he starts stroking their chests with his finger.
I missed that.
I missed that.
Did you
too.
guys? You didn't see it? Oh, it's wild. We'll put a GIF of it up. It's so weird.
Sounds it.
He's threatening them while he's stroking their chest. It's very sensual.
I didn't realize there was contact. I thought he was just waggling his finger.
Oh, there was contact, baby.
Maybe he knew they were ticklish, and that's how he was threatening them with tickles.
Could be.
Yeah.
It's a weird BDSM thing. Anyway, he also starts strangling. Yeah. He starts strangling one of them, and you know that the director or whoever realized that's a bad idea because they only show his hands going down. They don't actually show the
show it happening.
Yeah. And that ogre grew up to be David Carradine.
God rest his soul.
I feel like that's the best way to go. You know?
Orgasm?
Like accidental orgasm death?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I would just like to peacefully go in my sleep without ever being aware, so.
But you could go...
Nope, we're not going to finish that. Let's just move on.
All right.
So,
but Shaylin, imagine what you could do. Yeah.
No. Moving on.
Ah, boy. So while this is all going on, the catapult is essentially at the castle, and King Gregor and Kana and the knights are just standing there. And the king wonders, he has a relevant question about how they managed to build that catapult and get it there with no one knowing. And that never gets answered. They don't even attempt to answer it.
It's because the knight that's supposed to be protecting them that was out with the woodcutters is a lazy asshole.
Yeah, but
he was supposed to be guarding things, and instead he was laying down complaining that his lunch was late.
But
yeah,
they had to... It was taller than the trees.
Right? And the guy who was on watch was not paying attention.
So there's one guy to protect the whole kingdom?
Isn't that Sir Tucked In?
Yeah. Yeah, but he's one dude.
I don't know how big the kingdom is.
It's massive.
I don't know that that's true.
It's bigger than Westeros.
I don't know what that means.
Anyway.
I am Zummy of House Gummy.
Is that a Game of Thrones reference?
It is.
Oh, okay.
Freedom! I'll make all medieval references.
Great.
I like at the end of Braveheart where they're like
disemboweling
Mel Gibson. Yeah, because like they must like he's just like it looks like he's shitting.
Yep.
Yeah. Just like grunting.
Yeah, he looks like he's they just like focus on his face and it just looks like he's getting a blumpkin. Like
Oh God.
Ecstasy and pain at the same time. Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
Here we go.
We've hit that point.
Mm-hmm. So anyway,
Comfortable Gummy Bears. Let's go.
comfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Ugh. That word is disgusting.
Yep.
It's like panties and moist.
Ugh.
Moist, uncomfortable panties.
Uncomfortable.
Look. So
Panties.
Snively attacks the castle. He's fucking it up. And then the gummies show up. And they all take their juice, and we get a little bit of that gummy sound effect. Boing. It's good stuff. Now, we see the gummies sort of bouncing around the ogres. They're sort of effective. Grammy takes an interesting strategy. I don't know if you guys noticed this one.
I did. Just
I don't know.
creaming all over their faces. It's pretty gross.
Talk about uncomfortable.
Pretty gross.
So they're trying to get Cavan the juice so that he can destroy the catapult or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Cavan immediately loses the juice and he hands it directly to Sir Igthorn.
He puts up a mild fight.
Like,
he doesn't just hand it to him.
He fumbles it like a fucking idiot.
Right.
Like he's fucking Jimmy Butterfinger.
Almost like a child.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some hero.
Acting like just like Sir tucked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, King Arthur got the sword out of the stone. He was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Different story, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Cavan.
So Igthorn takes the juice and he proceeds to do like Harlem Globetrotter moves with like boulders and stuff.
So I was dying laughing at this. And as was established earlier in the episode, I was just waiting. I was for the boulder to just crush him.
Mm.
And I couldn't remember how violent the cartoon was. And I was like, will it be bloody? Like the whole time he's doing all like the stunts and stuff, I was like, how much blood will there be?
He looked a little like Daniel Plainview, but I think to insinuate there will be blood is too far. But I just like to celebrate. Like he's just spinning these things around. It was fucking hilarious.
His next massive structure is just gonna be this big old straw that like drains the moat around the castle. It's gonna be great. Yeah.
Drainage.
5 straw.
Another old YouTube video.
Hello.
We'll put it in the show notes. There's a video of a guy doing like a Daniel Plainview phone sex thing.
It's so bad.
It's great.
The impression is awful. The jokes are worse. Yeah, and it's just, but it's all this terribleness come together in this beautiful A+ package, which is how I've been described.
True enough. Now, speaking of shitting, the gummies and Cavan start to move the catapult, and it doesn't go so well. It's a tough one.
The additional voices on this episode really worked hard.
So they start to push the catapult. Sir Igthorn isn't really concerned because now he's super strong, but little does he know that he's about to get his comeuppance or gum-uppance.
Today, Dunwyn is mine. Tomorrow, the world.
So he's standing in the catapult and he gets crushed by the boulder, which then fires him into the castle, where he then flies through a fireplace, up a chimney, and turns into fireworks.
That's correct.
Because magic.
Yes.
Right.
Gummy magic. I dug it.
Horrible way to go.
Yeah.
But he's back in episode 2 or episode 3.
That's true.
I watched episode 2. He's not in there.
Well, at least they gave it a week to breathe.
Yeah. He's got to recoup. Some reality there.
Speaking of horrible ways to go, the catapult is flying towards the castle.
Mm-hmm.
The gummy bears jump off. Cavan does not. He's stuck. This thing shatters into a million pieces, and they play it like Cavan is dead. Like, listen to this.
Look out! Cavan! Cavan is on the catapult! Do you think Kevin is all right?
No, he's of course fine, but like,
I love the sad violin.
yeah, like they're really playing it like this kid's fucking dead.
Yeah, they played it up.
I
It's awful.
I think that I spent more time in my notes talking about the violin music than anything else for this episode.
Yeah, it's wild, but of course he's fine. Somehow, maybe it's a residual from the gummy berry juice, and the king asks him how he did it, and Kevin almost spills the beans on the gummy bears immediately.
Just minutes after promising he wouldn't.
Yeah. So the camera cuts to Zummy up in a tree, and he's like leering at this young boy, telling him not to forget his promise. Just
baring his teeth.
I was trying to decide if like him whispering it, somehow there was magic involved of like getting the message to Kevin's ears or something, where he's just like, "Don't break your promise.
Remember."
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Could be. But Kevin, he doesn't spill the beans. And then the show ends with Zummy recording an amazing piece of prose.
Today, we helped a young boy.
It's better than any story I ever wrote, so maybe it's not too bad. But that's the Gummi Bears, or Adventures of the Gummi Bears if you want to get technical. And let's rate it. Would you show it to a kid, Shaylin?
Definitely. So much so that this morning at around 5 a.m., when my kid woke up and wouldn't go back to bed, I considered putting it on for him to watch so that I could go back to sleep. Thought about it. Didn't do it.
Because it's boring?
No, I was just tired.
Oh, okay. Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Kid friendly?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. I would show this to a kid. And I'd watch more of this, too. It's a fun show.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, the quality of the animation's really good. So, good stuff. Let's go with 1 to 5 gummy berries.
5 gummy berries from me. I thought the plot was followable, if not perfect. The characters were either likable or hateable in the right amounts. Animation was superb, and the voice acting was where it's at, even if everyone involved.
2 turntables and a microphone.
Yes.
Where it's at.
That's correct.
Anyway.
Dave?
5 out of 5 for me, too. Yep.
Ben?
1 out of 5. No. I'll give it a 4. It was going to be 5, but Kevin drags it down.
Okay.
Fuck that kid.
Yeah, fuck Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin.
So bouncing along.
Here and there and everywhere.
Welcome to the Animating Game. Ben and Shaylin, you're our lucky bachelors. Here's how the game's gonna go. We've got you two, eligible sexy bachelors, and you're gonna go through 2 rounds where you're gonna get 3 contestants. Those anonymous contestants are going to describe themselves to you. You're gonna pick the one you wanna date, sleep with, marry, whatever you want, and they're gonna guess who is who. For each correct guess, you're gonna get a point. And the one with the most points gets a special prize at the end of this. Before we meet our contestants, let's meet our bachelors. Ben. Ben is a podcast host from New England. He enjoys the sound of nose slurps, unique fast food menu items, and striking the elderly. Shaylin loves animals, sparkles, Jesus, and is the founder of the Dick Cheney fan club, Dixie's Chicks. All right. Shaylin, you're going to go first. Here are your contestants. I'm gonna stop being that character. Do you know? Are the rules clear? Do you know what you have to do?
Nope.
All right. I'm gonna name these 3. I'm gonna have these 3 contestants describe themselves to you.
Okay.
You're gonna pick one, like the one that you think is like the best match for you.
Okay.
And that has no bearing on any points. I just want to see which one you pick.
Okay.
And then you're going to have to guess which one is which. So you're going to get 3 of them, and you're going to have to guess, like, I'll describe it, and you'll say, oh, that's Michelangelo from Ninja Turtles or something. And these are all characters from cartoons that we have watched.
Great.
Okay. You ready,
All right.
Shaylin?
I'm ready.
All right. Contestant number 1. Hi, Bachelor. I love to eat, so the way to my heart is through my stomach. And speaking of through, you can see right through me. And I'm not just talking about how open and honest I am. If you pick someone else, I'll be green with envy, which isn't much of a change from my usual coloring. Pick me, and let's get messy. That's contestant number 1. Contestant number 2. Bachelor, I'm an adventurous type. I don't heed any of the warning signs, and I go full bore into everything that I do. I'm into toys, and I like to get dirty. I hope you are too, because that'd be fantastic. Pick me, and let's blast off. All right, and contestant number 3. Hey, cutie. I'm big into technology. But don't let that scare you, because I assure you, I'm no nerd. I'm as straight shredded as I am intelligent. Hope you like mustache rides. Pick me, and I'll hold you tight in my arms. Ooh, Shaylin. Who are you going to pick?
Who has a mustache?
That's not the question.
I know. I'm just really alarmed.
Who has a mustache?
All right, I'm going to go with the non-nerd, the last one.
You're going to go with a non-nerd. All right. Ooh, this is tasty. Now, who are these these contestants?
So contestant number 1 is Slimer from the Real Ghostbusters.
Ding, ding, ding.
Contestant number 2, Fantastic Max, who I would be willing to kill if we're playing Kill, Marry, Screw.
But that's not the game. This is the animating game.
Okay, but still, it's Fantastic Max.
And you could kill him later. That's fine.
Okay.
And the one you picked?
And that safety pin.
The one I picked, is it someone from G.I. Joe?
No, I'll give you a little... Keep going. You're close.
I have no idea.
One more guess.
I was going to say Egon, but he doesn't have a mustache.
He doesn't. You wish he did, though.
I sure do.
It's Man-at-Arms from He-Man.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Ben, are you ready to hear your sexy contestants?
You know I am.
All right. Contestant number 1. If there's one thing I can do, it's sing and move. I'm a cowboy, baby. And I hope you like to cowpoke.
Yep.
Contestant number 2. Bachelor, when you meet me, you're going to be shocked by 3 things. My chiseled jawline, my purple hair, and my ability to convince you to let me stay at your house tonight. Pick me. I'm a real gem. All right. Contestant number 3. Everyone I meet thinks I'm some mild-mannered exchange student, but they have no idea that I'm a rock and roll maniac on the stage and a real beast in the sack. Pick me, and I'll take you to the Mile High Club. Ooh, my. Ben, who are you going to pick?
I'm going to go with contestant number 3. Sounds wild.
Oh,
and potentially prehistoric. Had to stammer into my bad joke. It's a good microcosm of the show. Anyway.
Yeah, stammering and bad jokes. So, Ben, who are these people? Who is contestant number 3?
Who are these people?
Damn it.
Number 1 is one of the cowboys of Moo Mesa. I'm going to go with Montana Moo or Moo Montana.
I chose,
or it could be Dakota or the Colorado Kid as well.
It is. Throw them all in there. It's Colorado Kid. Yeah. Who's contestant number 2?
So this one I had no idea until you finished with Gem. So is it Rio Pacheco?
It is Rio Pacheco.
Yeah.
And you're Amore. Who is that? Contestant number 3.
God willing, it's Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Benjamin, 3 for 3. And you've got a real meat eater in the sack there. Shaylin, round.
That's not a tail in your pants.
Oh.
You're struggling right now.
No, that was good. What are you talking about? I regretted it as soon as I said it.
All right. The score is 3-2 in Ben's favor. Shaylin, round number 2. Here are your contestants. I'm a real straight shooter, baby, and I use live ammo, so don't play games with my heart. That might sound intense, but don't worry, I'm not uptight. When I relax, I put 100% into it, chilling out in my sweater vests and tight, very tight pleated khakis. Oh my, that sounds randy. Contestant number 2. I got energy, got a lot of energy. Pick me, and I'll show you how much energy. All right, contestant number 3.
Really?
The name of my game is Doggy Style, but get your mind out of the gutter, bachelor. I hope you like dogs, because I'm a 2-for-1 deal, baby. My dog, Princess, comes with me wherever I go, and you can come with me too if you know how to handle me. Oh, that is absolutely filthy, and I wish I gave that one to Ben. Oh, right. Shaylin, who you picking?
I'm going with the sweater vest and the khakis.
All right. Well, let's find out who you picked. Who is contestant number 1?
I have no effing idea, but he sounds a lot less creepy than the other two.
Maybe. You got to guess.
Moo Montana.
It's not Splinter. Who'd you guess?
I said Moo Montana.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He uses live ammo?
He does. You're true. That's very true. But he doesn't wear pleated khakis or sweater vests on his R&R.
That's true.
Shaylin, you picked Flint from G.I. Joe.
Yeah, Flint.
Yeah. You've got a real American hero in the bedroom.
What can I say?
Shaylin, who is contestant number 2? I got energy, got a lot of energy. Pick me, and I'll show you how much energy. I'll give you a little coda there. You might see it's made out of energy.
Captain Planet.
I'm sorry. It's Tornadron from Transformers.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. You turned down Tornadron. Shame
Bummer.
on you. And who is contestant number 3?
It's the neighbor from My Pet Monster.
Yes! Ding, ding, ding. All right, Shaylin. You got 1 out of 3, but that last one was a strong answer. Ben.
Yes.
You're still in the... Or actually, it's tied 3-3. You could pull away here and mercifully end this segment. Your 3 contestants. I'm cute, sometimes horny, and extremely well hung. That is to say, I'm not little at all, but baby, I'm yours. Contestant number 2. I just really need a good dick. Please, if you have a mustache, don't pick me. Italians need not apply. Oh, okay. Contestant number 3. Pick me, and let's steal away to my lair. I know we just met, but I'll put a ring on it right away. You be foolish not to pick me, sexy mortal. Ben, those are 3 great options. Who you picking?
The dick hungry one in the middle.
Excellent. I knew you would.
Some people don't like a challenge.
No.
Oh, what is wrong with me? What am I talking about?
Oh, you're just
saying things.
Just as filthy as contestant number 2. All right, Ben, who are these contestants?
That first one. Read me the first one again.
I'm cute, sometimes horny, and extremely well hung. That is to say, I'm not little at all, but baby, I'm yours.
One of the Battletoads.
We haven't watched Battletoads.
Was never a cartoon. What was the name of the toad from Ninja Turtles? I don't know. A tree of some sort.
No, I'm sorry, Ben. The answer is any My Little Pony.
All right. Even the female ones weren't hung. Anyway, that's fine.
None of them were. None of them had anatomy.
How did they reproduce?
I had the toys. They did not have anatomy.
Are there boy ponies?
Yes.
Okay.
The Big Brother ponies?
Yeah. And they're all hung.
We want to hear from you listeners. My Little Ponabity on Twitter.
Anyway.
Yeah. Hashtag not so little pony. Ben, who's contestant number 2?
Irma.
Yeah. You know what you were doing. And who is contestant number 3?
That would, of course, be Mal Havoc of Super Friends fame.
That's correct. And I can hear our acclaimed guest, Kendall, just preaching to the high heavens that you picked that right. Ben, you won the Animating Game 5-3, and guess what you win for a big prize?
I couldn't even fathom. Ooh.
There you go. I'm so glad you won, because I couldn't give that to Shaylin. It'd be very weird. Anyway, thanks for playing the Animating Game.
The gift that keeps on giving. I want to roll this into a Love Connection bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Should we just watch Love Connection?
Nope.
Would that be good? Yeah. Chuck Woolery's a monster, right?
Oh yeah.
He got
Was he
in
Me Too'd?
trouble. I feel like he was. He must have been.
Play us out with some of that dating game music.
All right, that goes on for 6 minutes. I set an arbitrary endpoint. Now,
good.
On to the mailbag. Email at watchbotspod.com. Hi, bunnies. Everything fun and flashy always seems to get a gritty reboot these days. Batman to Batman Begins, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Robin Hood, several times, The Punisher. Which 80s or 90s cartoon would you give a gritty reboot to, and how would you cast it, plot it, etc.? Warm and gooey regards, Richard Dick Marks. It's a good question. Thanks, Dick. And I have an answer.
Okay.
All right.
And the answer is Tiny Toon Adventures.
Ooh.
And it would be sort of like these bullshit Disney live action remakes, but then more like a nature film, you know? So Buster Bunny.
Like a Planet Earth type of thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Buster Bunny would be voiced by Ryan Reynolds. The duck would be voiced by Bradley Cooper. Babs Bunny would be voiced by Elizabeth Banks. And it would end in blood.
I like that. I like that. Yeah. I've got you're rebooting Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Okay.
Seth Rogen is Yukon Cornelius. CGI Rudolph is voiced by a spry Tom Holland. Herbie is played by Liam Neeson. Santa portrayed by a returning to form Val Kilmer. King Moonrazer,
but he's
voiced,
still fat.
Yeah, exactly. King Moonrazer, is that the king's name? Yeah, voiced by Mark Hamill. It's the like lovely North Pole, but it's like kind of just everything's kind of gray, and like the reindeer games are really violent and cruel, and Rudolph's adventure out into the wilderness is like really hard and like very it's like The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah, so it's gritty, but it also turns into a shared universe thing with other Rankin and Bass Christmas movies like Santa Claus is Coming to Town, The Year Without Santa Claus, Frosty the Snowman, Little Drummer Boy. Yeah, it's good.
All right.
Nestor the Long-Eared Donkey, which never gets enough attention.
I've never seen that or heard of it.
It's sad as hell.
I mean, it's Watchman-esque. Santa's like a Ozymandias type.
All right, so I would do the Care Bears. It would be kind of like the way they redid the Smurfs. And it would be using the cast of the MCU like as lazily as possible.
Okay.
So the good guys are good guys and the bad guys are bad guys.
Sure.
And that's my reboot.
Who plays Gargamel?
Josh Brolin.
I would go with Ben Kingsley.
Oh, he's too cheerful. He'd be the cat.
I'd go with Jon Favreau.
He's not a bad guy.
as Gargamel?
Yeah.
I'd go with Jeff Bridges. the Obadiah Stone.
Wait a minute. Gargamel is from the Smurfs.
Yep. That's right.
Oh, shit.
And I went right along with it because I'm tired enough to be like, yes, same universe. I believe you.
So here's the question.
Yeah.
So the key word in the question was gritty.
Yeah.
And you said that the Care Bears movie would be like the Smurfs movie that had Katy Perry in it.
No. Wait, wasn't
she's gritty?
Where's the grit? Where's the sandpaper?
Yeah, where's the Christopher Nolan like wide IMAX like screenshots of filthy Los Angeles?
I meant in the animation style of it. So the Care Bears can have guns and stuff too, and like knife fights.
Just give them guns.
I see you left that detail out initially. That makes a difference.
I just meant the animation style. So like it's not an animated cartoon type thing, but they're still not like people in furry costumes. It's like that weird animation in between. That's what I meant.
What if they, instead of like the heart and like flower and sunshine symbols, it was just symbols of weapons?
Well, that's what the bad guys have, isn't it?
Oh.
In my version, that's what the bad guys have. How's that?
Very gritty.
Very gritty.
Mm-hmm. And it takes place in
New York City, 1983.
Yeah.
President Donald Pleasance is kidnapped. He's put into a escape pod of some sort.
Sure.
And then Care Bear Snake Plissken shows up.
Lionheart. They call me Lionheart. Yeah, something like that.
That's a good movie. A damn good movie. Sequel is better.
Damn one.
That's right. Well, thanks, Dick. And if you want to get in, email at watchbotspod.com. And guys, I think that will do it. Any last thoughts on the Gummi Bears, the Care Bears, Care Bear Cousins, Gummy Cousins?
I'm saving the Care Bears and Care Bear Cousin commentary for when we do the Care Bears episode.
Okay.
Gummi Bears, aces, 2 thumbs up.
All right.
Couldn't agree more, Shaylin. And that's a big market tease you did with that Care Bear talk. So stay tuned, folks.
It's coming.
We have about 35 theme months that will not get off the ground. Except Juniper. Juniper's coming.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll get the social media on that. But
I think the Juniper one is there a country lawyer cartoon out there? Don't mint juleps and gin tonics. Yeah.
Well, there's Song of the South, but we don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, we can't do that one. No.
Is there a Strawberry Shortcake character that's Juniper Berry? That feels like it could.
Yeah, her name's Ginny.
All right.
Back on track.
You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Jiffy at WatchBotsPod. Please subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes, Spotify, or your platform of choice. For David Shalem, this is Ben. Thanks for listening to another episode of WatchBots. Until next week, I hope you can avoid your gumuppance and that your moist panties aren't too uncomfortable.
Panties.
Uncomfortable. Bye.